Part 1. Born from Outcast. The Yakuza didn't begin as crime lords or legendary gangsters. No, their story starts with outsiders. Back in Japan's feudal era, society had strict classes: samurai, merchants, farmers, nobles, and then those who didn't fit, those who were rejected, ignored, and pushed aside. Two groups emerged: Tekiya, street merchants, hustlers, traders; Bakuto, gamblers living life on the edge of fate. They weren't accepted, so they formed their own world, a world with rules, a world with brotherhood. They looked after each other when no one else did. Slowly, that unity became power. That power became structure, and that structure became the Yakuza. Part 2. The Code of Honor. People think Yakuza means chaos, but inside it's discipline, it's structure, it's iron rules. The Yakuza live by Ninkyo-do, the way of the chivalrous man. Their philosophy: loyalty above everything, respect to the family, honor in your actions, and responsibility even when it hurts. Make a mistake, there is a price. Betray your brotherhood, there is a consequence. It's not just criminal life, it's a code, a lifestyle. To the Yakuza, your word is your soul. Part 3. The Tattooed Legends. When you think Yakuza, you think ink. But those tattoos, they are not fashion, they are not trends, hand-poked for hours, days, sometimes years. A test of pain, a declaration of loyalty, a badge of identity. Dragons for power, tigers for strength, cherry blossoms for the beauty and tragedy of life. They were born outsiders. They lived proudly as outsiders. Part 4. Feared but also respected. The Yakuza weren't only feared, they were sometimes respected, even relied on. When disasters struck Japan, earthquakes, the tsunamis, destruction everywhere, you know who showed up first? Yes, the Yakuza. They delivered food, helped victims, provided shelter. While bureaucracy was slow, they moved immediately. Shocking, right? They lived in darkness, but sometimes acted with surprising humanity, because the Yakuza always believed in their own version of duty. Part 5. The Power Era. By the 20th century, the Yakuza were no longer just street gangs, they were empires. They controlled nightlife, entertainment, gambling, construction, business, politics. Their influence moved quietly, strategically, powerfully. Families formed: Yamaguchi-gumi, Sumiyoshi-kai, Inagawa-kai, names whispered with caution. Tokyo, Osaka, Kobe, across Japan and even beyond Japan. A handshake from a boss called build your life. A front from him called end it. They weren't boys with fists. They were men. They were men with influence. Part 6. Loyalty and the price of brotherhood. To be Yakuza is to give your life to the family. Once you step in, there is no halfway. You live for the clan, you stand for the clan. Ceremonies, oaths, rituals with sake cups, brotherhood sealed not by blood but by choice. If your senior falls, you take responsibility. If you fail, you face consequence. This world demands strength, discipline, sacrifice, and that is why it's not for everyone. Part 7. The Falling Shadow. But every empire faces time. Government crackdowns, tightened laws changed, surveillance increased. Japan moved into a new era, and the Yakuza felt the pressure. Membership numbers fell, power structures shook. Modern society no longer fed like before. Some families shrank, some vanished, others adapted quietly. The legend didn't disappear, but the spotlight faded. Part 8. Myth, Mystery, and Legacy. Today, the Yakuza remain a shadow, not gone, not loud, but present. They live in Japanese culture like ghosts of honor and danger. Movies, games, books, the world became fascinated, not because of crime, but because of the mystique, the discipline, the aesthetic, the code. A world where loyalty is law. A world where respect is currency. A world where your identity is carved into your soul. When the neon lights glow in Tokyo at night, when you walk through a quiet alley, when you hear whispers of legends, remember, the Yakuza were never just gangsters. They were outcasts who built power, men of darkness who sometimes acted with light, a brotherhood with rules, loyalty, pride, and consequences. This is not a glamorized fairy tale. It is a complex reality, a world shaped by honor, strength, and survival. This is the story of the Yakuza.